बैक टू अनदर वीडियो और आपका आज की वीडियो
स्वागत है।
और आज जो वीडियो हम लेकर आए हैं वो है कल की वीडियो का सेकंड पार्ट जो हम लोगों ने सदगुरु की देखी थी और वीडियो का टाइटल आप लोगों को पता है। तो चलिए बढ़ते हैं आज की वीडियो की तरफ, लेकिन उससे पहले
इस वीडियो के चैनल का विजुअल लिंक आपको हमारी वीडियो के डिस्क्रिप्शन में मिल जाएगा। सब्सक्राइब करें, लाइक करें, शेयर करो, फॉलो करें इनके चैनल को। उसके अलावा मेरे ब्लॉगिंग चैनल का लिंक और इंस्टाग्राम का लिंक भी हमारी वीडियो के डिस्क्रिप्शन में मिल जाएगा। सब्सक्राइब करें, लाइक करें, शेयर करो, फॉलो करें।
चलिए देख लेते हैं ये वीडियो।
But that missing is missing because I'm feeling it.
Missing is just a psychological process, isn't it?
Isn't it a physical process as well?
Yes, physical and psychological.
Your mother who used to feed you, who used to, hug you, is no more doing that.
See, physically very easily we can replace things. It is the psychological and emotional factor which is irreplaceable because of the uniqueness of the psychological structure of that person and the uniqueness of the emotional relationship between those two people. It is that which is irreplaceable. Physicality can be replaced effortlessly, isn't it?
I am intrigued even further because this guy called Ray Wozniak, or so what is his name, he's trying to recreate his father, this scientist. And I was watching the documentary he made where he is saying that he's talking to everybody who knew his father and he's trying to get the reactions his father could have on various junctures and various stimulus, and he's collecting those responses, and he claims that one day he will have exactly the replica of his father in terms of consciousness which he'll create, which could be transplanted on a computer, he said I can create a figure, I can do whatever I want. But what would you call something like this? Would you call that he recreated a person?
I'd call this madness. We are too enamored with things that we have created. We're missing out the grandeur of the creation.
What do you call people who saying that they are freezing themselves for years now? I heard that you'll go into a temporary death, and then would you call them dead? Like they're saying that after 30 years you can defreeze them or reassemble. What in this
Long
state?
time ago the Egyptians tried, right?
Physically.
Yes.
But they could not make. They only created the mummification. They did.
Yes.
But what these guys are doing now is that freezing you, where your body can be reborn after 30 years or whatever time you want to come back.
Women are capable of getting pregnant and delivering a new body. Why do you want to preserve the old body? I don't see any sense. That's why Kashi, the moment you die, within an hour and a half, the body should be burnt. Because if the body is there, all this drama will happen, okay? Psychologically, you will play all kinds of games as long as the body is there. So the rule in India is, if somebody dies within an hour and a half, you must burn. Why it is, as I said, prana leaves the body slowly over 11 to 14 days. So there will be confusion in the being which has slipped out of the body, and there is a confusion in the people who are around him. Suppose somebody is dear to us and they die, if you sit there and the body is there, you still think maybe he's only sleeping, maybe he's only going to sit up, maybe there's going to be a miracle today, maybe all the laws will be broken and today somebody dear to me is going to sit up and live. These things invariably happen in the mind, okay? So the moment you burn the body, you will see people go to the cremation ground and they come down. They were crying and yelling, when they come, they become quiet because the reality has sunk in. The most important thing with the existence is to be in tune with reality, not to create hallucinations. Now you got gadgets to assist your hallucinations. Whether it's convenient for you or not, somebody is dead means they're dead, it's final, okay?
Now that brings me to another thing. When people find, for example, what happens in Banaras, things like aghoris. Some people, foreigners, and they talk to me, they also find that insanity. They think, what is this? I mean, people are going and doing bizarre things, eating dead bodies or, experimenting with various other things. What is… It also is something which I think for everyone it'll be good if you explain that.
They have not probably visited the scientific laboratories, biological laboratories, where they're doing absolutely bizarre things with various creatures. Yes or no?
Yeah.
All that is done with the intention of well-being. How much well-being comes out of it? We don't know, isn't it? Once in a way something comes out, rest of the time we are only doing bizarre things in the laboratories, aren't we? Even in a high school, if you study biology, you're cutting open frogs and looking into this and that.
Yeah.
It's quite bizarre.
Yep.
Isn't it quite bizarre?
Yes, it is.
It's quite bizarre, but all of us have done it and continuing to do it as if that's the only way to learn. So, what they are doing is, as I said, there is still prana in the body that is dead. So they are sitting there. If you go there to Manikarnik and Harishchandra Ghat, Aghoris will be sitting there watching everybody who will come, they inquire, how old is this person, how did he die? That's why some of them who don't want that to be known, they're covering with plastic sheets, where people cannot see. How old is the person? They won't say, how old was the person? But the Aghoris want to know. If it's a young person, somebody who was vibrant life and for some reason he died, they want that kind. When that happens, they want to do work there. They want to make use of the energy that's released. Once the body begins to burn, this prana has to exit immediately. When that exits, they want to make use of that life energy to do something with themselves. Now, people won't give it to them because they don't want their dear ones to be used like this. So what these people will do, if it is there, they'll grab the body and run. So right now, don't you go to Africa and catch thousands of monkeys and bring it to your laboratory to cut them and to do all kinds of experiments. All the monkeys are thinking, what's wrong with these people? Why are they doing these bizarre things to us?
Yeah, but they are alive and you can see that you're injecting chemicals in them and you see the reaction and then you decide.
That's
but
what
here
I'm saying.
the body is dead.
That's what I'm saying. If the nails are growing, if the hair is growing, some life still exists, right? That part of the life they want to use. They don't want to do a live person because it will lead to human sacrifice. They don't want to do that. They're waiting for the dead to come. What energy is released from the dead body, from cremation, they want to use that. If you do not know the science of that, you cannot just think it's all bizarre. Yes, it's an extreme way of doing things. It is not for everybody. It is something that should be done without coming into the notice of a society. But unfortunately, everywhere there is population today. There was a time they would be here, there would hardly be anybody, they would do what they want to do for their growth and well-being.
No, let me be a little cynical here. What is the contribution of an Aghori to the society, to a humankind? What have they done for us? I mean, if you talk about science, I can say, yes, those monkeys which have been used, ultimately you've got some medicines, you've got some certain things which you can fight the diseases and stuff like that. But what has an Aghori given to the world, which they should be proud of, and we should give them a sanction to do things which a human being does not find palatable?
What is beneficial to a society and what is not, at different times in history, different things people think is beneficial. For example, in Tamil Nadu, in ancient Tamil history, the greatest title that a man can receive is Ayira Aane Konnavan. That means one who slain 1,000 elephants, he is the real man. Well, Veerappin is almost halfway there. Why do you treat him as a criminal? Just why don't you provide him with another 500? He claims he's killed some 500 and odd elephants. If you provide him another 400 and odd, he will be the greatest man in Tamil Nadu, why don't you give him? Out of time, isn't it?
Exactly, not contextual.
Not contextually right. So now, whatever you're talking of science as creating great benefits, it is only contextual now. Already it's beginning to happen, all the environmentalists are trying to block every scientific thing because people are beginning to understand in the name of development, we're completely destroying the very source of our well-being. Tell me, what is it that's destroyed this planet? It is essentially technology, isn't it?
Yeah, but technology is coming out of the desire to be wanting more.
Yes, it's driven by that. But I am saying what facilitated? There were Alexander the Greats who wanted to conquer the whole world, but they couldn't do it. But it is the technology which did it, isn't it?
Yeah.
So is technology bad? No. It is just that it's in the wrong hands, how it is used. So the type of technologies which were 50 years ago, now we are looking down at it. How could somebody do this nonsense? If you see a chimney spewing smoke, today you think, oh my God, they're polluting. 100 years ago when they saw a chimney in Manchester City, they thought, wow, isn't it?
So you are saying that Aghoris have become out of context?
No, I'm not saying they're out of context. They have no context to the society. Their context is their ultimate well-being. They are only looking at the ultimate nature. How the society is today, they know and we know that what is true today will be looked down upon tomorrow, what is great today will be thought as the most horrible thing day after tomorrow. This will anyway happen in the social structure. You are made to believe that this is it, and tomorrow your next generation will stand up and say what you did is the most idiotic thing, what you thought was a great thing. So they are not getting involved in the context of the society. They are only involved in the ultimate nature of their being. So they don't care what the society thinks. So they always stayed away from society. But today society has occupied just everything. They have no place to be.
By that logic, we can define any… we can justify any perversion.
See, they are not causing harm to anybody. Never are they causing harm to anybody. Have you heard of any Aghori attacking anyone?
No.
No, he is doing something with himself. He is not in some other… See, people are taking drugs, people are drinking themselves to death, people are smoking and blowing it in your face. They're not doing any of those things, they're in remote places doing their own thing with themselves, not with somebody else.
Yeah, that's the point. That's the point. They are free to do what they want.
Only with themselves, they're not doing it with anybody else.
As far as they don't…
Yes.
As far as they don't scare the society, as far as they don't…
See, the scaring the society is because society is just… populations have exploded and we are just everywhere.
Yeah.
Where is a secluded place, tell me?
That's a point. That's a point that if they want to live…
And this explosion of population is society's… Society is the culprit, not Aghoris. They don't reproduce at least.
Yeah. So then that over glorification of Aghoris, when we hear that they've got these superpowers and all that, that probably is exaggeration, and they are mere selfish, self-centered,
No.
experimental beings.
What is super and what is not super is again contextual. See, today you can pick up a little bit of plastic and metal in your pocket and speak to somebody in America, yes? If only you could do this 100 years ago, we would have treated you as God. If Prasoon Joshi was the only one who had a cell phone and you pull it out and talk to somebody in America, we will think either you're his messenger or son or himself, isn't it?
Yes.
So it's only contextual. Their thing is not about powers, it is just about they want to evolve to a place where what you hold as something that you abhor, they are trying to befriend that, because the moment you like something and moment you dislike something, you have divided the existence. And once you divided the existence, you cannot embrace it. So, they're going with whatever you would not be able to stand. What is most abhorrent for you, that is what they befriend, because they want to take away what they like and what they do not like. Everything is same to them.
So
This is a way of embracing the universe.
one strange way of doing it. What do you… On the other hand, you have this…
Strange or otherwise, successful for some people, that's all that matters. It works.
Yes.
It is not for you and me. But for somebody it works. I am not against anything that works. If it works, it's fine with me.
Yeah, but it works for them, and they can't ever tell you how it works for them.
Yes.
They can say that I'm happy, so let me be. That's what they can say.
They're not even talking about happiness. We know it works.
Yeah, I mean, it works, okay, in a certain way. You can
Because
define…
certain transformation, certain capabilities they display, which is otherwise not possible.
No, it will not be possible for a normal person to do what they do. So definitely there is some sort of stretch of mind happened already there. Sadhguru, I wanted to ask you about why do human have the fear of death so much? So much of… Either you've got fear of death or you glorify someone who dies. I mean, look at the world and look at rock stars. Dying early, it becomes a virtue. You become a star because you die. So, what is that makes us so uncomfortable and not at ease with death?
See, it's not death which is disturbing for people. Here in Right now we are in front of Manikarnik. Right next to that is the Kalabhairav temple. What you see there is Kalabhairav temple. Bhairav is one who takes you beyond fear. Kal Bhairav is the fear of time. It is the fear of time, it's not the fear of death. In fact, in southern Indian languages, that is the terminology used for death. Kalamaitanga, Kalamai poinaru, Kalavadaru, all southern Indian languages say his time is up. So, the fear is always about the time. Time is the basis of fear. If you had limitless amount of time, it wouldn't matter, isn't it? It is time is running out. If something happens, time is the issue. If something doesn't happen, time is the issue.
Yeah.
So death essentially means your time is up. So it is a limited amount of time which you are referring to as life. And you know, if you do not do certain things within that span, you will be unfulfilled in so many ways. So people who live a very full-fledged life, you will see when the time to leave comes, they will live much more gracefully than people who have not lived a total life. If their experience is big, they've lived very joyfully with a huge sense of ecstasy about life, such people will die with ease. Actually, those are the people who should not be eager to go, isn't it? People who have a bad life should be wanting to go, but that's not the truth.
So the discomfort and the fear is nothing but the fact that the time is
Yes,
not there.
that is why Kal Bhairav. If you are free from the fear of time, you are free from fear itself, absolutely. Kal is also seen as black because you don't see what is next. It's completely dark. Time hides what is tomorrow, isn't it?
But it's not in your hand when you're going to be born and when you're dying.
Why not?
It's not. Akala Mrityu. What is Akala Mrityu? A child dies, a teenager dies. It's not there in their hand. So how
Yes.
you
But you must
fear
understand
it?
the most important temple in Kashi is Avimukteshvara. So Shiva promised, I will never leave. What do you say for that? Why are you picking up bad examples? When they made Kashi, they made 468 shrines, 13 months of the year. We look at the year as 13 months because once in 3 years there's an extra month in the lunar calendar. This calendar runs to a few, like thousands of years. People say 3,39 years, the 39,000, so many years calendar is there for them. 3 lakhs or 39,000, it runs way before any other calendar came up and it's quite perfect. It's perfect, really. So now, looking at the geography of who you are, the physical geography of your body, the cosmic geography of the solar system and the larger geography of the cosmos itself, there is a very intricate connection. So this is made like this. Solar system is like a potter's wheel. The way it spins is the way our bodies have developed. This Adiyogi said over 15,000 years ago, when the Saptarishis asked him, isn't there some other way apart from the yoga you have taught? He said, right now human body has reached a place where it cannot evolve further. When I say evolve, where did this come from? Well, he told you, the first form of life was fish, the second form of life was an amphibious animal, a turtle, the third form of life was a wild boar, the fourth was half animal, half man, the fifth was a dwarfed man, the sixth was a full-fledged man but emotionally volatile, the next is a peaceful man, next is a loving man, next is a meditative man, the next who is supposed to come is a mystical man. You heard of the ten avatars?
Dashavatara.
It runs very much parallel to Darwin's theory of evolution. And Darwin's theory is only 100 years old, 150 years old, its 200th anniversary of Darwin's birth was only last year.
That brings me to, you are here in Kashi and you said that this is the first time properly you've come here and you've done Saptarishi Puja here. What is that? I was wanting to know that.
See, I'm not generally a temple-going person, okay? In my whole life, I've never prayed. This is a fact. Never, ever. I've never prayed. I never felt the need and I've never prayed. So, for me, see, you need to understand this, the ancient temples of India were never places of prayer. Nobody led a prayer, even today nobody leads a prayer, okay? These are built to a certain scientific geometry. If the geometry is right, this is called as Agama Shastra, the 5 basic conditions are fulfilled. The size and shape of the deity, the mantra that is used, the size and shape of the Garbhagriha, the size and shape of the perimeter which is known as the Parikrama, and it may go further depending upon how much they're able to do. If all these things are right, and if the right things are done, it will generate such a huge wave of energy. So this is a place where people are supposed to go, make use of it and come. Maybe in northern India these instructions are completely gone out of vogue. But in South India, in Tamil Nadu if you come, even today, the basic instruction is not to go and pray in the temple, but you must go and sit there. You must sit there and come. So people make a ritual of it now, they just touch their bottom to the floor and go. That's not it. You must sit there because it's like a public battery charging place. And also the tradition says, if you're on the spiritual path, you need not go to the temple. Because you have your own self-charging, you don't have to go to the public charging. So they were always created as energy centers. Only when I notice there is something like that, I'm interested in the temple. If it is just built for devotion and stuff, you can be devout anywhere. I can fall in love with the tree or the cloud in the sky, I have no issues. I don't need a form to do that. So, if they're powerful energy centers we want to see, Kashi we know is one of the most sophisticated energy space that's been created on the planet ever, okay? My own work is just that, I'm creating various forms which are like exuding energy in such a phenomenal way. So we wanted to see, we came. Unfortunately, lot of things have been demolished, but yesterday was a phenomenon. In Saptarishi Puja, I went there. See, these people who themselves, those who are doing it, they do not know how it happens. But they're sticking to the procedure that's been taught to them and making it happen. See, the guy who's driving this boat does not know how to build an engine, he's just learned to use it and it works. So they just learned to use it and they did it in such a way. Stacks and stacks of energy they built. This may not be tangible for other people, for me it's a living reality. And people will just burst into tears, they don't know what it is.
But that again brings me to
It's
your
not
reality.
an emotional thing.
No?
See, I don't sit there with emotion. It is something you can see with your eyes.
That's why what I feel, you require so much of prior knowledge and prior conditioning to be able to feel that energy. If I plant
Conditioning will not let you feel it, you'll imagine things. If you want to feel it, you have to enhance your perception, because only what you perceive is reality, rest is just imagination.
So you're saying that the energy is such that if I put someone there from some Africa and make him sit with you…
Definitely.
He will not feel strange, he'll feel energized.
Definitely.
Okay.
Any part of the world I go, people will sit with me and they'll burst. It doesn't need any conditioning, it doesn't need any hypnosis to make them believe this or that. All beliefs, if they're taken off and you learn to keep your system open, only then you can feel life. Because the whole system of yoga is about enhancing your perception. If you do not enhance your perception, this is what the third eye of the Shiva is supposed to be. When your perception is fully enhanced, we say you have a third eye. Because these two eyes can see only that which is physical. Third eye means to be able to see the subtler dimension of life. See, right now, science is dealing with so many things that you cannot see, isn't it?
Yeah, but science is dealing with so many things which you can.
That is fine.
Yeah.
So, science is dealing with
And
so
most
many
of the times
things.
you're dealing with things which you can. You say you can fly in an aeroplane, you can really fly. On the other hand, I feel someone who does, what you call it, levitation.
Yeah, that's
I mean, that is what given yoga a bad name, actually, according to me.
That is the whole problem. There are a lot of spiritual entrepreneurs who are destroying the whole possibility of what it is.
Absolutely. I agree with you.
That is a great problem. See, that is the reason. Because the culture has fallen in many ways. This has happened because of invasions, because of subjugation and lack of, economic economically being down, poverty for long
and
periods
people are
of time.
throwing baby with the bath water, and people are
Yes.
yeah, that's what is happening.
That's
And
exactly
I,
what's
you know,
happening.
because you know, when you look at that levitation and look at the video, it's ridiculous. You know, people are jumping up and down and they're feeling they're flying.
They just
So-
have to take frogs as pets
Yes, so that's the reason.
and
I
learn
mean,
something.
but what you're saying is that this is such a high energy center, and the Saptarishi Puja you did here was a way
I
of
did not do,
experiencing
I
that
was
energy.
just a witness to it.
You witnessed it.
I just a witness to it. As the Saptarishi should have done, 7 people sat down there and they did this, and it was a phenomenon. I've never seen anything so energetic in any temple. I've been to quite a few. Wherever I feel it's an energy center, I go. This is a phenomenal science. You must come and sit in the Dhyanalinga temple. No ritual, no mantra, no puja, no nothing. It's always in total silence. Just come and sit there and see. Because it's essentially created for meditativeness. People who have no idea what's meditation, people who have no instruction, without an instruction, you can make people meditative. They come and sit there, they think they're going to sit there for 5 minutes. They won't know, they'll sit for an hour, 2 hours, simply because they become meditative. So these are technologies, these are not belief systems.
Great.
Technology's gone bad.
My last question to you is, when somebody comes to Kashi, what is a must one should experience here?
The must is, first of all, to come prepared a little bit. I would say, if you're traveling to Kashi, at least for 3 months, get initiated to some simple meditative process. Meditate for some time, make yourself little more sensitive and come. Leave all your beliefs at home and come. Don't believe anything. And you must have an immunity for filth.
For
If you
sure.
want to experience the fantastic, you must be able to overlook the filth.
But
which
at the
is-
same time, you know, see, the contradiction of sublime and profane will always be there in this
I
city.
wouldn't call this sublime and profane. The filth is quite profound too.
Yes.
It's not profane, it's quite strong. I'm saying you should have an ability to look beyond the filth to touch the fantastic. The fantastic is also here, the filth is also here. We are striving to remove the filth. I'm talking to various people, district administration, the temple authorities, the administration at Lucknow, and some of the
Do you
organizations.
think something will happen?
We are writing to the Heritage Foundation. If something moves in with money, it will happen. People have to move in with money. If you just talk, it's not going to happen. We're talking to some waste management companies to come and explore if they can do something here. So, hope in the next 3 to 6 months, we will reduce the filth so that it'll be more easier to experience the fantastic.
So let's hope when we come here next time, we'll have cleaner river and we will be able to dip into the river.
River is a much bigger job. I'm only thinking of the streets right now.
Thank you, sir. It was really a pleasure.
भाई सेकंड हाफ की बात की जाए तो उसमें जो है आज बहुत सारी ऐसी चीज़ों का भी डिस्कस किया गया जिसमें से वाकई हमें जो है बहुत ज़्यादा, यानी कि अगर हम कभी असल में देख लेना तो हम लोगों को वाकई डर लगे। खासतौर पर सबसे पहले तो मैं अघोरिस की बात करना चाहूँगा। मुझे उनके बारे में बिल्कुल भी आइडिया नहीं है, लेकिन अभी जो सुना है वो मुझे काफ़ी ज़्यादा जो है ना डरा देने वाली एक चीज़ लगी है।
वैसे मैं ये कहूंगी कि काफी इंटेंस रहा है हमारे लिए जो सेकंड वाला है। अगोरीज वाला मुझे भी आइडिया नहीं था कि मतलब जहां तक मुझे समझ आ पाई है कि वो ये नहीं मुझे पता चला कि वो डेड बॉडीज को क्या मतलब वो लोग खाते हैं, क्योंकि अगर जैसे क्रेमेशन हो जाता है तो फिर उसके बाद वो कैसे खा सकते हैं। मतलब मैं थोड़ी कंफ्यूज हूँ इस चीज को लेकर।
लेकिन वो उन्होंने
समझ आ गई है कि मतलब ऐसा इंसान जो लाइवली है या जो कि बहुत अपनी लाइफ को मतलब अच्छे तरीके से जिसने गुजारी है वो उसको ज्यादा प्रेफर करते हैं ताकि उससे एक एनर्जी उनको मिल सके। वो चीज मुझे समझ में आ गई है कि ये प्रोसेस क्यों किया जाता है, बट वो एनर्जी क्यों लेना चाहते हैं और उसकी क्या रीजन है ये मुझे समझ में नहीं
ये वाकई मुझे भी समझ में नहीं आई कि ये इस तरह मतलब क्यों है। हाँ। लेकिन एक वो बात कहते हैं ना कि वैसे ये तो चीज सुनिए कि आदमखोर लोग होते हैं, यानी कि वो जो है ऐसे लोग दुनिया में पाए जाते हैं जो इंसानों को खाते हैं। लेकिन लिटरली ये चीज आपको काफी ज्यादा वियर्ड लगती है कि यार एक इंसान दूसरे इंसान को जो है वो कैसे खा सकता है, क्योंकि शायद हमने अपने आसपास कभी इस तरह का माहौल नहीं देखा, इस तरह की चीजें हमने सिर्फ टीवी की हद तक जो है वो सुनी हुई है। इवन कि अगर आपको याद हो कुछ अर्सा पहले पाकिस्तान में भी इस तरह था कि कब्रों से निकाल कर जो है वो कुछ लोग थे वो खाते थे मुर्दों को।
वो अलग चीज है।
हाँ,
ये
नहीं अलग चीज है, लेकिन मैं एक वो चीज आपको बता रहा हूँ कि हम लोगों ने ये चीजें जो है सिर्फ टीवी की हद तक सुनी है, लेकिन रियलिटी में हमने कभी यानी कि इस तरह की चीज नहीं देखी,
एक्सपीरियंस नहीं देखना। लेकिन मेरा पॉइंट ये है कि ये भी सदगुरु ने भी बोला कि वो सोसाइटी को कोई हार्म नहीं पहुंचाते। वो अब क्योंकि पॉपुलेशन इतनी ज्यादा हो गई है कि उनके लिए जो एक जगह थी जहां पर जाकर वो मतलब अपने तरीके से रहते थे, अब वो उनके पास स्पेस नहीं वो वाली रही, क्योंकि वो सब ऑक्यूपाइड हो चुकी हुई है, पॉपुलेशन इतनी ज्यादा हो चुकी हुई है। लेकिन इसके पीछे रीजन क्या है वो मुझे समझ में नहीं आया कि एनर्जी वो इस तरह की लेकर फिर वो किस तरह की एनर्जी के साथ डील करते हैं, या फिर उनका लाइफ में क्या पर्पस होता है। वो चीज प्लीज आप हमें जरूर बताइएगा। अगर आप में से आई एम श्योर बहुत सारे लोगों को पता होगा इनके बारे में, तो जरूर हमें बताइएगा कि क्या पर्पस क्या रहता है, उनका रीजन क्या है ये सब चीज करने का। और दूसरा मैं डेथ की बात करूंगी तो जो एग्जांपल सदगुरु ने दी यही एक सेम ऑलमोस्ट मैं कहूंगी कि मिलती जुलती एग्जांपल मुझे पहले भी सुनने को मिली थी, और मैं कहूंगी कि वो एग्जांपल मुझे काफी हद तक हेल्प भी किया था। यानी कि जब मतलब अम्मी की डेथ हुई थी तो मुझे भी मतलब ऐसा ही वाकई में फील होता है कि जब तक आप जो डेड बॉडी है वो पड़ी होती है आपको ये लगता है कि शायद ये
मौजज़ा हो जाए,
शायद कुछ ऐसा मिरेकल हो जाए कि इनमें जान आ जाए, ये उठकर बैठ जाएं, और आप रोते हो, बहुत रोते हो। और फिर जब उसके बाद वो मतलब उनको दफना दिया जाता है, ये जो भी रिचुअल्स होती हैं अकॉर्डिंग टू फेथ वो कर दी जाती हैं, तो आप खामोशी से मैं देखती हूँ कि वाकई में मैं बैठकर सोचूं ना तो मुझे मेरे दिमाग में ये चीजें चल रही थी कि वाकई में लोग ना शांत हो जाते हैं, फिर वो रोना धोना उस तरह से नहीं होता। हाँ, जो घर वाले हैं उनको तो एक टाइम जरूर लगता है, लेकिन बाकी जब जो सब लोग हैं जो एक उस टाइम पर एक माहौल होता है वो बिल्कुल एक चेंज हो जाता है जैसे ही डेड बॉडी को दफना दिया जाता है।
इस बात में बाकी कोई शक नहीं। आप जब डेड बॉडी को लेकर जा रहे होते हैं ना तो उस टाइम आपके जहन में वो कहते हैं ना मौत को लेकर बहुत सारे ख्याल आते हैं, बहुत सारी चीज़ें आती हैं, बहुत ज़्यादा डर भी आपको लगता है। लेकिन लिटरली लोगों में मैंने ये चीज़ देखी कि जब आप उन्हें जो है दफना देते हैं, जैसे वो मिट्टी उनके ऊपर डाल के वापस आते हैं ना, फिर वही लोगों की रूटीन, लोगों के चेहरे पे मैंने वही स्माइल्स, हंसी मजाक, इवन के मैंने कई ऐसे लोगों को भी देखा है कि वहाँ पर दफना रहे होते हैं, लोग पीछे खड़े होकर जो है हंसी मजाक कर रहे होते हैं, ठीक है ना। तो एक फियर ऑफ जो डेथ है ना वो एक मुर्दे को देखने के बाद सिर्फ तब तक रहता है जब तक उसे कब्र में डाल नहीं दिया जाता। उसके बाद जो है दुनिया को कोई परवाह नहीं होती कि क्या हो रहा है क्या नहीं हो रहा। वो हिसाब होता है कि समंदर में से एक कतरा पानी निकाल लिया और पता भी नहीं चला। ये एक जो है उस टाइम एक सीन हो रहा होता है। अभी इसमें एक और चीज़ जो है डिस्कस की गई कि जो ममीफिकेशन वाली जो थी वो अगर बात की जाए तो मैंने भी ये चीज़ सुनी थी कि लोगों को फ्रीज किया जा रहा है ताकि वो आज से कुछ सालों बाद जो है वो दोबारा से जो है उन्हें जिंदा कर सकें। तो ये चीज़ वाकई मेरे यहाँ से भाई नहीं हजम होती कि एक इंसान जब उसमें से रूह निकल गई, उसकी आत्मा निकल गई, तो फिर कैसे जिंदा रह सकता है।
बिल्कुल, क्योंकि मतलब मैं भी इस चीज को अंडरस्टैंड नहीं कर पाऊंगी शायद, क्योंकि मेरे पास ना तो इतना नॉलेज है और ना ही मेरे पास नहीं समझ है। बट मुझे ये चीज इस वजह से सही नहीं लगती क्योंकि जैसे जैसे अब हम चीजें समझ रहे हैं तो हम लोगों को भी यही पता है कि जो बॉडी है वो एक कपड़े की तरह है, ठीक है, ये छूट जाएगी, जो रूह है इसमें से निकल जाएगी। बिल्कुल। लेकिन डेथ का जो फेयर है मैं देखती हूँ कि जैसे हमारे यहाँ पर बताया जाता है, और मुझे शुरू से ये चीज बहुत एक मैं कहूँगी कि समझ में नहीं आती और मैं हमेशा इस पर डिस्कस भी करती हूँ कि आप वाकई में डेथ को बहुत ग्लोरीफाई करके बताते हो। मैं यहाँ पर बात करूंगी स्पेशली, तो मरने के बाद ये मिलेगा, मरने के बाद वो मिलेगा, मरने के बाद ऐसा होगा। लेकिन मेरा पॉइंट ये है कि अगर हम अपनी लाइफ को, जो हमारा साइकिल अभी चल रहा है, इसको ग्लोरीफाई करें, इस तरह के जो हमारी ड्यूटी है हमें वो अच्छे से परफॉर्म करनी है। हम जिस मकसद के लिए इस दुनिया में आए हैं वो हमें अच्छे से परफॉर्म करना है, तो आई थिंक एंड आपको खुद ब खुद अच्छा हो जाएगा। लेकिन जब हम लोगों का फोकस इस चीज पर ही नहीं होता कि भाई दुनिया में जो हम कर रहे हैं, गलत कर रहे हैं, चाहे वो इंसानों के साथ कर रहे हैं, चाहे वो नेचर के साथ कर रहे हैं, और इसके अलावा हमें हर चीज पर फोकस करना सिखाया जाता, तो आप कभी भी सही ट्रैक पर नहीं जा सकते। और ना ही मुझे लगता है कि आप डेथ के बाद भी मतलब आपको मोक्ष मिल सकता है, जब तक कि आप इस दुनिया का पर्पस नहीं जान लेते। क्योंकि मुझे लगता है कि वो तो बाद का टाइम है, जो होगा वो देखा जाएगा। लेकिन अभी मुझे लगता है कि जो जिंदगी में हम कर रहे हैं ना, अगर ये हम अच्छे से कर लेंगे ना, तो वो टाइम हम खुद ब खुद अच्छा बनाना शुरू कर देंगे अपने हाथों से। तो बेसिकली धर्म जो है ना, हमें अपना धर्म पूरा करने की जरूरत
यार। बेसिकली अगर लोगों को वाकई सुने मरने के बाद ये, मरने के बाद वो, तो अगर मर के ही सब कुछ मिलना है तो फिर दुनिया में आने की क्या जरूरत थी इंसान को? वो वहीं पर रहता जहां पर था, दुनिया में आया, इतनी मेहनत की, इतना यानी कि मुश्किल से जिंदगी गुजारी, और फिर भाई सब मिलेगा कब? मरने के बाद। अभी ये सवाल जो है ना, यानी कि ये जो जवाब होता है ये उन लोगों का होता है जो दुनिया में अपनी बहुत अच्छी जिंदगी गुजार रहे होते हैं, ठीक है ना। आप अगर क्या नाम लेते हैं, उनकी जिंदगी को देखें ना, हर चीज उनके पास होती है। वो अब एक बंदा जो ऐसा है जो दुनिया में आया है, कुछ कर ही नहीं रहा, कोई मेहनत ही नहीं कर रहा, तो अगर आप उसकी जिंदगी में और उसकी जिंदगी में फर्क देखें तो वो बहुत ज्यादा होगा। तो इंसान की जो है ना साइकी, वो समझना जो है ना वो बहुत ज्यादा मुश्किल है। ये जो है ना आपकी हर स्टेज पर आप जिन जिन लोगों से मिलते हैं ना, उनके साथ साथ ये जो है ना चीजें चेंज होती रहती हैं।
बट मुझे लगता है आपकी लाइफ में आपको ऐसे लोग जरूर मिलते हैं जो आपको बहुत कुछ सिखा रहे होते हैं, और आपको सीखना चाहिए। बट इवेंचुअली अभी के टाइम में ना मेरी सोच ये है कि हमारी जिंदगी का मकसद और दुनिया में आने का मकसद सिर्फ ये नहीं है कि हम सिर्फ मतलब हमने इबादत कर ली है तो हम लोग बस ऊपर वाले को खुश करेंगे तो ही हमें जो है वो एंड पे हमारा अच्छा होगा। हमारे जिंदगी का मकसद ये दुनिया में के जो एक इम्तिहान है, आपकी कुछ ड्यूटीज हैं, आपकी कुछ रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज हैं जो आपको इस दुनिया में असाइन की गई हैं, आपको वो फुलफिल करनी है। इवन कि यहाँ पर भी मैं जब डिफरेंट लोगों से बात करती हूँ तो मैं उनको ये कन्वे करने की कोशिश करती हूँ और समझाने की कोशिश करती हूँ कि जो आपका फेथ है, जो आपका बिलीफ है, ये जो आप जिसको भी फॉलो करते हो, वो आपका एक पर्सनल मैटर है कि आपने किसको चूज किया है। बट उसके साथ साथ ये चीज की इम्पोर्टेंस बहुत ज्यादा है कि आप दुनिया में लोगों के साथ किस तरह के हो। क्योंकि मुझे वाकई में ये लगता है कि चीजें जो है ना, सिर्फ अगर वाकई में इबादत ही करनी होती ना, तो फिर ऊपर वाले को ये दुनिया बनाने की तो जरूरत ही नहीं थी।
बिल्कुल।
और इसके अलावा जो एनर्जी के बीच में बात की, तो भाई एनर्जी वाली बात पे तो मेरा बहुत ज्यादा मैं कहूंगी कि मतलब विश्वास है। मैं वाकई में ये चीज पहले भी हम लोग डिस्कस कर चुके हैं कि हर जगह की एक एनर्जी होती है और आप वो एनर्जी फील करते हो और आपके ऊपर उसका एक असर रहता है। समटाइम्स ऐसा होता है कि वहां से निकलने के बाद भी आप पर असर रहता है उस जगह का। तो काशी के बारे में जितना हम लोगों ने सुना है, हमेशा वीडियोज में यही सुना है कि वहां पर मतलब फॉरेनर्स भी आते हैं तो वो लोग भी इस चीज को, इस एनर्जी को फील करते हैं कि कुछ डिफरेंट है वहां पे। तो उस लिहाज से मैं दिखाना चाहती हूँ, मैं खुद भी वाकई में एक्सपीरियंस करना चाहूंगी। बाकी जो सदगुरु वाली बात है कि जिस तरह से उन्होंने बताया कि वो टेम्पल्स में नहीं जाते, मतलब मुझे उनकी बात जो है वो बहुत ही मतलब मैं कहूँगी कि हाँ, आई रियली अप्रिशिएट, बिकॉज बहुत कम लोग होते हैं जो ऐसे बात करते हैं या जिनके समझने का, बताने का तरीका जो डिफरेंट होता है, जो वाकई में समझ पाते हैं। और मैं भी ये बात बोलती होती हूँ कि आपको कहीं पर भी मतलब जरूरत नहीं है जाने की। अगर आप कहें कि नहीं, अगर मैं यहाँ पर बैठ के ही मुझे मतलब इबादत करनी है तो यहाँ पर ही मुझे सब कुछ मिलेगा, ऐसा नहीं होता। आपकी नीयत जो है वो बहुत ज्यादा मुझे लगता है कि मैटर करती है।
मैं यहाँ पर एक और बात हुई जो बीच में टेक्नोलॉजी की बात इन्होंने की थी, उसके वे भी कहना चाहूंगा कि नो डाउट टेक्नोलॉजी जो है वो इस तरह की कि पूरी दुनिया को जो है ना उसने एक अपनी लपेट में ले लिया हुआ है। इंसान जो है टेक्नोलॉजी के साथ साथ एक और जो बहुत बुरी चीज इंसान में आ चुकी है कि इंसान इमेजिनेशंस का बहुत ज्यादा आदी हो चुका हुआ है। यानी कि चीजें वो करता नहीं है लेकिन इमेजिन पहले ही करना शुरू हो जाता है कि इसका हमें परिणाम, नतीजा क्या मिलेगा। तो ये चीज़ जो है मैंने ये खाली अपने आप में नहीं, मैं कहूँगा मैंने बहुत सारे लोगों में नोट की है कि वो कहते हैं कि भाई ज़िंदगी जो है ना इस तरह की होनी चाहिए कि हमारे बड़े बस मेहनत करते रहे, हम खाते रहे, ज़िंदगी चलती रहे, हम टेक्नोलॉजी यूज़ करते रहे, हम ज़िंदगी इंजॉय करते रहे। तो ये चीज़ जो है मुझे आजकल के लोगों में बहुत ज़्यादा देखने को मिली है। और नो डाउट जितनी ज़्यादा टेक्नोलॉजी जो है वो लेटेस्ट होती जा रही है उतनी ज़्यादा लोगों में आपको फ्रस्ट्रेशन भी देखने को मिलती जा रही है।
मैं ये कहूंगी कि देखो फिर वो हमारे पर भी डिपेंड करता है ना कि हम उसका इस्तेमाल कैसे करते हैं। वो सही और गलत को चूज करना तो वो तो हमारे हाथ में, हम उससे सक्सेसफुल भी हो सकते हैं, हम उससे मतलब डिस्ट्रक्शन वाली साइड पर भी जा सकते हैं। बट मुझे लगता है कि टेक्नोलॉजी बहुत फायदा दे रही है और मुझे लगता है कि अगर उसका कुछ नुकसानात हो रहे हैं ना तो वो इंसान उसका खुद जिम्मेदार है, टेक्नोलॉजी उसकी जिम्मेदार नहीं है। वेल गाइज, ओवरऑल मैं कहूँगी ये काफ़ी इंटरेस्टिंग वीडियो थी, बहुत मज़ा आया, बहुत कुछ नया जानने को मिला। बहुत कुछ ऐसी चीज़ें होती हैं जो आप समझ रहे होते हो और आप एक्सप्रेस भी नहीं कर पा रहे होते। और सदगुरु की मुझे ज़्यादातर जो कॉन्वर्सेशन है वो इसी तरह की लगती है जो कि आप एब्जॉर्ब कर रहे होते हो उनके वर्ड्स को, बट आई थिंक आपको एक्सप्रेस करना बहुत मुश्किल होता है। बट ये आप जरूर बताइए कि आपका क्या कहना है, आपका क्या सोचना है डेथ को लेकर, लाइफ को लेकर। और बहुत सारे कल कमेंट्स इस तरह के भी आए थे हम लोगों को कि आप लोगों को समझ नहीं आएगी क्योंकि आप लोग डिफरेंट बिलीफ से हो। तो मैं ये बात बोलती हूँ, नो डाउट हम लोगों को इस तरह की समझ अगर आएगी भी तो बहुत कम आएगी क्योंकि एक बैकग्राउंड उस तरह का नहीं है। लेकिन मुझे लगता है कि जब चीजें आप सीखना शुरू कर देते हो तो देर से सही आप सीख जरूर जाते हो,
समझ आपको जरूर
तो बाकी आप तो हैं हम लोगों को समझाने के लिए। तो आप जरूर बताइएगा कि आज की डिस्कशन में एनर्जी को लेकर, फिर उसके अलावा डेथ को लेकर और स्पेशली जो अगोरी जो हैं उनके बारे में जरूर हमें बताइएगा कमेंट सेक्शन में। और इसी के साथ हमें हमारे वीडियो
लाइक, सब्सक्राइब, शेयर,
पसंद। गुड
बाय।